Hello friends! I guess the first question is, Nick, where have you been? Well, you know, I'm old and sometimes I nod off and forget to make YouTube videos for you guys. But here we are, and today's video is answering questions about Porsche. Where are the allocations? What's going on? China? My cars? You name it. We'll cover the questions that are commonly asked and questions that are definitely not asked. First up, everyone's asking, what's going on with Porsche allocations? If I'm trying to buy a new Porsche sports car, do I have any hope? And we've kind of got some good news there in a way. Yes, allocations continue to be like chicken milk. A little hard to find, but not impossible. Your Porsche dealers got a handful of allocations in the September round. Not enough to clear the backlog, but a lot of the backlog from 2020 and 2021 has been cleared, and so sales are picking up. Now, it's an interesting time because they are expecting more 911 and more 718 allocations for Q1 and Q2 next year. But for the 911 models, of course, we have the 992.2 being released in April. So a lot of people now that have been waiting for a 911 are holding off and waiting for that to be released because, of course, it's going to have new transmissions, they're going to fix that awful PCM, new styling, new options, and probably new engines. So yeah, it's worth the wait. However, if you really want a 911, I think the news is good. I think there'll be decent allocations for the first quarter and second quarter of next year. We will see. As for other models, 718 that came in boxes, there should be some good news around that as well, because they're moving the production of those cars to the Audi factories and really ramping it up for next year, which should be, we'll see, we don't know, they've had a lot of delays lately. It should be the last year, or at worst, the second to last year of the internal combustion engine Caymans and Boxsters, which will mean that they have had a run of around 14 years for the current model. Now, I know Porsche claims that the 981 and the 982 Cayman Boxsters are two different models, but of course they're the same running gear, same everything underneath, same dash, same interior. It was more of a facelift. So if you count the 981 as the model that's run all the way through to today, which it basically is, then this car's going to have a 14 or 15 year lifespan, which is really long for Porsche cars. Still not the longest. The longest I think is the 728, which had a 17-year lifespan, but pretty long for Porsche, which normally has a solid 7-year lifespan. So yeah, that's the Cayman Boxsters. Hoping we'll get to see a lot more of them, allocations of those, particularly the .4 models, which are excellent next year. As for the rest of the models, we do have good news for base Macans, S Macans, Macan Ts, who buys those, Cayennes, Cayenne Platinums, and Panamera Base and Panamera 4s. There's a lot more of those coming in, so you should have no trouble getting allocations for those, maybe even discounts for those, who knows. And there is a reason why those particular models suddenly we have a lot of allocation for, and that is China. China is the biggest market for Porsche cars worldwide by a long while, and there's some odd things going on in China at the moment. Their sales of Porsche cars have suddenly dropped by 20% in the last few months, which is a large number of cars, and that's due to, I don't know, imposed lockdowns and some political wranglings in China. So the cars that we're heading for China are now being produced for the US, and that's all the cars I just said, Macans, Cayennes, Panameras, plenty of allocations coming for those. So good news if you're looking for one of those cars. Still shortage on GTS models for those cars, but for the rest of them, I mean, honestly, as I've said before, if you're looking for a Macan GTS, consider the S, it's just as good, and you might be able to get a discount. At least you'll be able to get a car. If you order a Macan S or a Macan Base or a Cayenne Base, you'll definitely get it within 3 months, which is remarkable considering what we've been through for the last couple of years. So yeah, some good news. And this is also having an impact on used cars. If you follow the market, you'll notice a 10, almost 20% dip in the value of used cars, which had just gotten completely out of hand. I mean, people were paying $100,000, $120,000, $130,000 for a 5-year-old 911. You know, it's ridiculous. Back in 2020, that car would have been $70,000. I've seen them selling for $120,000. They'll be back to $70,000 or even in the $60,000s before we know it. So yeah, Don't be running out to buy a second-hand Porsche sports car anytime soon. The value is coming down quite quickly. And as soon as we see more allocation for the new cars, that will quicken the pace on that. Next is Porsche have their IPO, initial public offering coming, trading of stock from the Frankfurt Stock Exchange at the end of the month. There's not a lot of news about this. This is just, if you're a big corporation like Volkswagen, Porsche, it's a way to get a big bag of cash. Sell a bunch of shares, get a bag of cash. What I find interesting about this event is, of course, the good thing is you get a big bag of cash. The bad thing is you come under more financial scrutiny because it's public now. And I think Porsche may trip up a little bit. Not that I'm saying they did this, but if, say, you were a car company and you might have stretched the truth about your 2020 sales figures, or even sold a bunch of cars to dealers that were undrivable because they're missing parts and they're still sitting at the back of a lot of dealers, that might come under scrutiny. We'll see. It's going to be an interesting time. Certainly now that they're going more public, I think there's going to be a lot more questions about what Porsche have done over the last couple of years, because personally I don't think it has been completely transparent, but I could be proven wrong. It could be a little bit of a scandal. We'll wait and see. As for my own personal cars, I still have my green 2020 Macan, which it just crossed over 30,000 miles, and to commemorate this event, it broke down. It was running on 3 cylinders.
It's going on so much. That's not sounding too good, is it? That's full throttle.
And that engine, I've got the 3-litre Audi engine in that, which is a pretty reliable engine, and for just Nick Murray luck, it happened to break down, and it was the throttle actuator, which isn't a common fault yet. We'll wait and see, but yeah, they just replaced that and it's back running perfectly. It's a very comfortable, lovely car. I really love that car. Obviously, I would like to replace it with an EV at some point, but yeah, it's been a great car apart from that breakdown. And the other major breakdown I had at 10,000 miles was the electronic suspension, all had to be replaced. So not the worst thing in the world, and compared to my other new Porsches, actually pretty reliable. My other car is my 993 911, which is honestly my favorite car of my entire life. I drive that car every day. I love it. It's now at 148,000 miles and has been extremely reliable. However, it's starting to paint its own pictures on my garage floor, so I need to get that fixed. And its clutch is done. I've been sort of babying this clutch, hoping to get the clutch through the summer, but it's clear that it needs replacing. Sometimes if I'm shifting quick into a higher gear, the revs will go off the chart, and the smell of clutch, and it's not good. So I took it into a local Porsche fix-it guy, Jimmy, who used to work for Porsche Fairfield, he looks after a lot of the Carrera GTs, and he has a really nice shop. And I took a quick video, so I'll show you that video now.
So I'm getting the 993 clutch done here, and I'm going to introduce you to the owner. He used to work at Porsche Fairfield, and now he specialises in Carrera GTs and the top end cars, but he does everything. He's sort of a Porsche artisan. Jimmy?
We work on anything and everything Porsche. Anything from air-cooled 993s to Carrera GTs and 918s.
So you have a lot of Carrera GTs here today.
I do. One of your
specialties?
It is. I worked at the local Porsche dealership for 14 years and slowly moved into this niche market, and the community and the owners have been kind enough to take me in and trust me with their cars. And so for the last 8 years or so, the Carrera GT's been like 90% of what I've worked on.
Right.
And
nowadays I count like 15 here. Is that
yeah?
right?
I think there's 12.
Yeah.
Maybe you counted this one that's split in half as 2. But yeah, there's always anywhere from 8 to 12 rotating through here, depending on what they're here for. We've got a great team here. We've got Daniel, who works on all the other modern Porsches, whether it be a 918 or GT2 RS, or Cayennes or Panameras and Macans. And then we've got Jim Riley, been working on Porsches longer than I've been alive, and so he's our air-cooled classic specialist.
Hey, Jim.
And And yeah, so yeah.
And can you actually eat your breakfast off this floor?
yeah, well, the whole building's new. Yeah, so I bought the building just about a year ago.
Oh, wow.
And needed 7 months of renovations. And so everything inside the building's brand new, from the foundation up. The only thing that was left were the brick walls and the ceiling, or the roof. And so HVAC, electrical, everything was custom built, for one purpose, and it's just to do all there's our uniform company, Cintas. Yeah, everything was custom built. Years of planning in my head, dreaming for this this day. So in-ground alignment rack, wheel balancer, tire machine. Yeah, so the idea is everything gets done in-house.
Right.
You drop your car off and it stays here. There's no reason for it to, any parts or anything needs to leave. Anything that does come in from outside, everything will be done in-house, whether it be clear film, window tinting,
so
detail work.
Oh, yeah.
We'll have guys come in. Yeah. It's not something we do regularly, but if a client does request it, obviously we're not going to be bringing a client's Carrera GT to another facility, while we have ownership of it. So, yeah.
Impressive. All right, I'll leave the details for your business at the bottom of this video.
All right, thank you so much.
Thanks, Jim.
Yeah, thanks for coming by.
So yes, hopefully Jimmy will have my 993 back to me in a couple of weeks, and I'll be back to driving it in the rain. Yes, I do a lot of driving of my 993 in the rain. I have a tonneau cover on the back, which I can't be bothered taking off, and that while my roof works, sometimes it takes a bit of stretching, like an hour of stretching to get it connected correctly. So I'm often getting caught in the rain, and I show these rain videos on my Instagram account.
So good having a convertible on a day like today.
And people laugh at me, but yeah, it's bothersome for my dogs that they're always getting wet in my 993, but it is what it is. It's a great car. I love driving it even when it's raining. And as long as you stay above sort of 40 or 50 miles an hour, the rain slips over the roof and you don't get wet anyway. You just hope for no bad traffic. The other thing about my 993 is that for months now, it has one wrong wheel. I got a flat tire, and for whatever reason, Michelin don't have that size and haven't had it for months, so I've had one of my winter tires on, which makes the car look a little odd. Like, people ask me, why have you got a turbo mag on the back and a regular mag on the front? And it's the fashion, it's the fashion. And finally today, tomorrow is Tui's birthday. It's her 9th birthday. I am blessed with Tui. She has been such a great dog her whole life. Like, just out of the box, she's well behaved and smart and just a little gem. I just love her so much. So I'm excited for her 9th birthday. I'm going to give her a teddy bear to rip apart, and maybe, I think her favourite meat is lamb. So I'm going to make some New Zealand lamb for her for dinner, and we'll celebrate her 9th birthday. The only thing that she ever seems to do wrong, she likes to go out into the garden and eat a lot of grass and then throw it up. But if that's the worst thing she does, that's fine by me. So yes, happy birthday to my little dog. She is very precious. And even Smudge has been well behaved lately. No major problems with Smudge, so that's all good. So yes, that is all the Porsche news. I was thinking, I don't know, if you guys want to comment down below, do you think I should do another live question and answer? I haven't done one of those for a while. Let me know if you think I should do that. Maybe I could do that in the next weekend or so. And the other video that's coming up, one of my viewers has very kindly agreed to me driving their brand new GT3, which I have mixed feelings about these cars, but it'll be fun to drive a GT3. It's a cool colour, so I'll certainly do a video on that shortly as well. Maybe we actually produce a video every now and then, Nick. Wouldn't that be a nice change? Anyway, that's it for today. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye then.